to kind of shut down Syndra when her ult gets fired to somebody else. But we are already into the game, and Banderas is the first victim of the year here at the NLC, getting himself caught out, and he did pop the Ghost as well, so going to be down a summoner spell in the early stages of this laning phase.
Yeah, that's really big, actually. I'm not sure what happened there. Was he trying to face check to get vision? But you cannot disrespect the Karma Braum level 1. That level 1 might be one of the best in the entire game if you had maybe a stronger jungler or AD carry. But even then, it's super strong, and it's just showing there. Banderas dies trying to get vision or scouting.
Yeah, he gets caught out trying to place that ward, but unable to do so. We can see now laning phase is starting up as normal, other than Banderas, who did give himself a kill over. Fortunately, it did go to touch, though, so, you know, that additional 400 gold only going into the support does mean he's going to be able to... what did he buy? He bought himself a ruby crystal.
Ruby crystal.
So I was like, maybe he's just going to buy himself, like, a couple more like control wards and just get himself some real vision control. But no, he wants more health.
At the end of the day, I don't think it really matters. Realistically, there's no way touch dies, right? Because this matchup's pretty counter matchup favored for Braum. If Nautilus ever goes in, Nautilus just dies because of the procs on the passive. So I don't think this Ruby Crystal actually amounts to much. The biggest thing that definitely happened there, like you touched on, was the lack of Ghost for Banderas. But at the end of the day, top lane's going to be a bit of a farm fest lane where you just farm grass procs, rather. And nothing's probably going to happen out of that either, because that Ghost cooldown is already halfway through. But what we're seeing now is both junglers just pathing to topside. In the LPL at the moment, what we're seeing is a lot of 3 camping into ganks, or in the LEC, if you see players like Malrang is level 2 into action. But it does look like this Ploxy is going to go for that level 3. But maybe not. Doesn't look like anything's going to happen there.
I think Fire Rain's just too close to his tower, but he has stepped up for a bit of poke, but I think he's just going to play this nice and safe. Fire Rain is aware that this free gank combo is there. Good stun to break away from the tether. So Ploxy gets a little bit of damage. Does eat a tower shot in the tail end. But overall, both mid laners are roughly around the same HP. So not really a trade Fire Rain's going to be too worried about. On the other side, Johan can't really gank topside because Lingui is just too close towards his tower in response. So it looks like for the junglers, it's just going to go back to getting that farming done. And Johan's actually about to finish a full clear for himself, while Ploxy only just started up his blue quadrant of the jungle, so he's going to be a little bit slower on the kind of reset timers and the tempo, but Johan has already started to build himself up off the back of that gank.
And the side of Riddle, actually, no. I wanted to point out something, but there was a whole fight, but Bander has actually managed to drop a ward onto the Crux, right? He scouted it, he saw they were taken, so they actually know where Ploxy is and where he's going to be when this camp's respawn. So honestly, Wukong's going to have a very hard time finding ganks because there's very little setup. On top of that, they've been completely scouted. So the information game for the side of Riddle's going really well because of Banderas' scouting. He even died for it earlier, but the second time when he checked drugs, it paid off.
Well, it was worth it then at the end of the day. But for now, as we kind of expected, this bot lane is just going to be the Varus kind of pushing in as hard as possible. Johan now maybe looking to make moves towards that side of the map, but Ploxy is already here. And just going to place a little bit of vision. There's great coverage, actually, from the side of Vanir. There's one in that tri-brush, a ward there, and there's a ward just behind the Dragon Pit. So if Johan steps out too far, he will be spotted. And it's going to be hard for him to find that gank through the Braum anyway. So it looks like Vanir, with their wards actually dying out on that tri-brush, they're just backing off and just stepping away for now as Fire Rain has a fairly large wave pushing in towards him. Luca will actually do a fair amount of damage there to that wave, and now Fire Rain is going to have to crash this because he can't sit and tank that many minions at this point.
Yeah, for sure. I think this is expected, though. It's fairly slow early game because of the lack of setup, because of the scaling aspect of Riddle's composition, and the fact that they can't engage bot lane. Honestly, if Johan went to gank bot lane, it would just be a 2v3. That Braum is too powerful into hard engage. Ooh, that was a nice riposte. Well done, Banderas. But it doesn't ultimately turn into anything, and once again, it's just going to be a farm lane with those D-shield procs and sustain.
That was a lovely little slide forward of the riposte on there, but what's getting scary right now for the side of Vanir is Riddle are getting close to that 6 mark, and that was where you kind of hit on as the scary point. That is the point of the game where, like, you know that Vi is going to show up somewhere to try and kill somebody and force summoner spells. I mean, Johan has just been power farming the jungle to keep up on that tempo. They should be hitting 6 fairly soon. I haven't seen their XP bar but they're going to be very, very close towards that level 6. And like you said, the Syndra Vi is a really filthy combo. Very easy setup. That Scatter the Weak. The Unleashed power is now there for Fire Rain as well. So I'm expecting probably a mid lane gank fairly soon, unless Lingui stays that pushed up on the top side. Johan actually is making his way over. They do get the slam down. Banderas getting a whole bunch of damage off onto Lingui in response, looking for the Vault Breaker forward, and Johan able to secure Riddle's first kill.
Damn. Okay, that was really good by Lingui. Banderas rather. He knew that Lingui would want to come forward and use his Mega Nod. This is really common for Mega Nods, is they get baited into wanting to use their Mega Nod to R, right? And you can see that he walks up to use his R to try and crash the wave as well, and Banderas uses that as a bait. And honestly, props to Johan as well, seeing the gank opportunity. But now on the flip side, what do we see? Well, a cross map for the side of Ploxy. He sees the dragon opportunity because he has prio in mid lane and bot lane, and he takes it for free as well. So it's not the end of the world for Vanir.
Yeah, not at all. But I think the big thing is that was a great gank for Johan. He wasn't even 6. So he's closing in. He's now got that 6. Lingui does have ultimate, though. Does have flash still. So he can play this relatively safe. Obviously, you can't really flash out of the Vial. You can just flash her further away from her and her team. That's kind of probably just be the game plan on this front. Fire Rain trying to desperately shove this wave in as quick as possible. Luca has TP, so we'll just return to the lane. Fire Rain, in fact, does not have teleport. Did use that a little moment ago. And actually, looking at Luca, building towards a support item here, actually, instead of going like the likes of Illudens. So is actually looking to play more of a supportive role. And Chrisberg, with the lethal tempo and the Noon Quiver, not going for that the poke lethality version of Varus. Instead, looking to play a more hyper carry, kind of scaling carry version of Varus here, which is more in line with Chrisberg's playstyle, to be honest. But now with the fact he's got 2 supports, he's got a Braum to tank and stand in front, and a Karma to shield and protect him. Chrisberg will be a menace as this game goes on. Once he hits that kind of like 3 item mark, Chrisberg is going to be super, super scary.
Yeah, my question is though, like, will that be enough? Will that be enough peel for the side of Riddle when they just press R on him? You know, it's really, really potent combo. But important to know, the macro that's going on right now, Riddle shoves out bot lane. This is a really important time because now Rift Herald is spawned. They shove out bot lane and head up to mid. Really classic Kiba play where he just walks up, soaks a bit, tries to hit level 6 off the mid wave, and then they go towards Rift Herald and contest it. And this is what I'm talking about. I don't think Vanir can contest at the moment. The level 6s are too strong for the side of Riddle, and I think Riddle should secure this. Maybe they do a pre-objective gank, where they gank the top side, you know, potentially on Lingui, and force his recall so they take the Herald for free. But it doesn't look like it. They're just going to start it up.
Yeah, Fire Rain has got himself a Kiba in the area, so he will be safe as Ploxy now moving out from that position to potentially gank. Thinks he's safe because of the vision, but there is a Rift Herald going down off in the side. He may go look to face check it, but if he does so, Kiba and Fire Rain should just collapse the pincer onto him. That's already taken down, and they're jumping in with the ultimate. Hooks are going to connect as well to follow that up. Touch, able to get away for the moment. Now Lingui actually looking to get the ult off, does connect onto Johan. Johan is dead as Luca is able to pick up the kill. A Rift Herald for a kill in trade.
Yeah, and I don't think they saw that Lingui was actually Mega Nod, so really good job by him finding that flank from the top of the river with Mega Nod, and he just pins down Johan, which honestly isn't the end of the world for Riddle, because on top of that, if you watch bot side, Zeri manages to catch the wave bot side as well. But yeah, you could see this ult into the wall, really good stuff from Lingui, and then I wouldn't want the kill to go over to the Karma who's building that Radiant Virtue, but at the end of the day, it's still a kill, and you don't trade the Rift Herald for nothing.
No, you do not. Fire Rain now getting ganked here. They get the Cyclone off. He gets a Scatter the Weak onto 2. That was beautiful by Fire Rain to hold his life there. Really, really clutch. Not to get the monkey off him, but to get the other 2 away. Really, really beautiful.
3-man Scatter the Weak, expected from the player who's currently rank 11 on the US servers. Really, really doing well there. Mega Nod here should be a free Demolish proc for the side of Lingui. There it is, satisfying proc right there. 160 gold in the bank. And you can expect this matchup to go more and more Lingui favored for a while. Until, of course, we've all seen Fiora with 4 or 5 items who just one-shots everyone no matter what. But range really does counter Fiora at this point in the game, and it will only continue to get worse until like level 13 onwards. But a really nice freeze there by the side of Kiba, holds the wave, and you could really see how he plays the game. He was really infamous last split for snowballing his team. He would essentially join, he joined Astralis, instantly made the team better because he would just create leads through roaming and laning extremely well. So I wonder if we'll see any more roams with his ultimate as he leaves bot lane.
It is a staple of Kiba, is just his ability to kind of find the perfect opportunity to roam, because he's not even roaming at like bad times. It's not like he's just perma-roaming. He's just very smart with when to rotate. But yeah, there you go. He makes sure that his support, his AD carry, catches the wave, isn't under any threat of being dove, is just going to move out, quickly have a scout around and see if there's anything he can do. There's nothing for him to do, so just carries on with this kind of vision control of the area. Then we'll move back towards mid lane and make sure, bot lane, and make sure that Reptile is safe on this wave. And it's a good time for him to come back because Ploxy is in the area. Vanir needs to be a little bit careful here. Lingui is in that Mega Gnar form. He has to be perfect on the timing with that riposte if he wants to make it happen. But vision control getting, well, fought here over by both sides. Nobody has fully gained control of the area yet.
And both teams posturing. I think Riddle have the better setup because they've got River warded down to the bot side if you look there, and they're also clearing out this vision which Vanir just placed. So if they want more wards, Vanir are going to have to recall to get some more because they're out. They have one more pink ward left on the side of Braum, so it does look like Riddle, because of this vision game and the fact that they're stronger at this point with those level 6 point-and-click ultimates, it does look like going to secure it. Almost a turn. Not quite.
Fire Rain needs to be careful. He's going to get himself caught out by the tether, but nobody's really in range to answer out. There's the Glacial Fissure onto 2. Ploxy jumps in forward, pops the Cyclone. The Unleashed Power's there. They're going to follow up the slam. Fire Rain's down as Luca secures the kill. Meanwhile, Kiba goes down as well. Vanir cashing in on kills left, right, and center. 3 for 1 in trade favor for Vanir.
And what was that? Completely unexpected from the side of Vanir. Absolutely showing and throwing down the gauntlet, saying, you know what, we're not a mid-table team. We're going to beat you at a team fight. I want to highlight Karma just reached that Radiant Virtue Spike. This item is incredibly potent and will heal like the entire team for hundreds and hundreds of HP. So it just shows the power of the item, and they just wipe Riddle from the off the face of the Rift.
Yeah, that was a really, really good fight there. I totally missed Chrisberg as well, just like off on the side of the fight because I was so focused, so laser focused on Fire Rain, almost getting away. And then you just go down and Chrisberg quite happily just poking everybody out. Doesn't get himself that grab, unfortunately, as Rifteld has been summoned in the mid lane. Ploxy is here to make sure that it doesn't get the charge off. And that was a trade they traded Johan's life for that Rift Herald, and they gain nothing from it. They don't get themselves onto that to get the charge off. And Riddle actually giving up a little bit here. Gold lead slowly starting to swing in favor of Vanir as Banderas actually going for a fight here versus Lingui. Gets the flash out. He has been getting smacked about all laning phase, but now starting to turn it around as soon as he hits that Divine Thunder or Power Spike.
Yeah, Mythic versus no Mythic. But man, Vanir are really, really surprising me. Honestly, I would rather be in Vanir's spot right now than Riddle's. They haven't managed to use their level 6 spikes. And slowly, this is going to be slowly Vanir favored in terms of compositions. Really, really, really insane stuff on the side of Vanir. And I want to see, because they do have a dragon, right? I think Riddle's objective now is to secure dragons and get to Soul Point, because they are still technically stronger in this window. But there might be a play here. That ultimate point and click.
Oh, this is going to be so rough for Chrisberg. He flashes out, but he's caught immediately. Shieldbreaker will do nothing as he goes down. 2 kills there for the side of Riddle. Chrisberg just a little bit too up. They knew that Kiba was in one of those bushes, but they just didn't know which one, and they paid the price.
Really, really good stuff from Kiba. He uses that bush there. You know, they might have known, but they didn't expect him to just press R, and then suddenly you've got 2 R's point and click from Johan and Kiba. And this was the power. This is exactly what we're talking about. When you're in a mobile ADC, how does Chrisberg play the game? Realistically, he needs the Karma at all times. He needs his jungler to help heal at all times. So just 2v2 like that, 2v3, it's not going to be enough.
Very, very rough. Now, that has done a pretty good job there for Riddle, pulling back the gold lead slowly but surely back to being an equal state here between both teams. This time, Rifteld has been started up once again by Riddle, but it does feel like Vanir are in a better position to answer it this time. They haven't got as much mid lane prio. Touch doesn't have his ultimate. Foxy does. No ultimate on Kiba or Johan, but it looks like Vanir are okay just to give this one up, although they are going to slowly move over. They've got Luca making his way over as well. Ploxy wants to see if he can get into range already. His touch is forced to jump out. Banderas jumps in as well, and that's going to be Rift Herald given over to the side of Riddle. We'll see if they can use it a little bit better than that previous one.
A little bit of hesitation from the side of Riddle when they have man advantage because Varus is bot lane, right? So maybe they're not too sure on their spikes right now. They've lost a couple fights. Fire Rain hasn't completed his item yet. He's still on components, right? So doesn't look like it's going to matter. And at the end of the day, Vanir is going to get bot side and crack that first brick turret. So you could argue it's kind of fine for Vanir. Riddle only get the global gold and the bonus local gold from the side of the Herald, and maybe they get top tower with it now. But that's it.
Yeah.
You know, it's nothing significant.
I honestly feel like that was a really smart play by Vanir, because they threatened jumping onto the Rift Herald, but they were playing it very reserved because they had no intention of actually jumping on. We are going to have to hold that though, because Riddle found Lingui here. Oh. Grand Challenge is down, and so is Lingui. Banderas able to get himself that first kill, but kind of just going back to that, really smart play there by Vanir, just to waste time and enable Crispo to guarantee that he does get that first tower for himself, and kind of mitigate somewhat of the Rift Herald's power that was picked up there by the side of Riddle. They do get a bunch of damage onto the top lane tower, and obviously get a second kill onto Lingui, who is now starting to struggle in this match. I've had a good start to the game, but Banderas is pulling it back with a CS lead, and just every time we look, he's now winning the trades versus Lingui.
Yeah, this is expected. I actually had Banderas pretty high on my tier list. I think a lot of the community did as well. I could see him being like top 2 or top 1, maybe below WoW, but he is really showing it in this matchup. It is a counter matchup. Lingui got R5 counter pick, right? So maybe this is why, why they first pick Fiora, you know? Not common at all. It's something very common in the LPL, but nowhere else. So Banderas must be really confident in this pick to pull it off. Posturing.
Showing a lot of confidence, a lot of power here, but Riddle do have first move onto the Drake. Lingui actually very close to narrowing out.
Look at that flank.
Will be very scary. Yeah, like you said, he's got the flank as well. So if he jumps in, he could get a game-winning ult here, but it's going to just get forced away by Banderas. He might chase him forward a little bit. Going to wait out the riposte. Beautifully timed. The Grand Challenge is on as the monkey goes spin, and Banderas is bopped and taken down. Easy pick up there for the side of Vanir. They did force out the Cyclone and the Gnar, so 2 ultimates down. Can Riddle contest? Fire Rain looking to see if he can steal this one away with a force of will. It's going to go over the wall, gets the stun off. Ploxy able to get the smite down and secure himself and his team that dragon. Rift Herald used in the mid, does get the charge off, but doesn't actually do any significant damage to really get that tower down low enough to fall.
Just as we were saying, Lingui wasn't having the best of games, he finds a really key pick on third dragon, right? To pick up Banderas, and the problem there was Banderas, you can't react to Narot stunning you against the wall, so he just has to parry. Ends up parrying, and Lingui just stuns afterwards, and chain CC from the Wukong is just all too much, which leads into dragon. And I'm getting worried. Riddle are going to run out of win conditions, bar a 6-item Fiora. It's going to be a huge power trough where they just don't have the damage to potentially one-shot, or there'll just be too much peel, or Varus will get too tanky. He's at 2 items now, with one of them being a shield bow and Tabai, right? So also, just something to consider, stopwatch and stasis. If you see Touch just picked up that stopwatch, it'll be incredibly broken versus the single target CC that Vi and Syndra have, right? And Nautilus. You just stopwatch all 3 of them, and it'd be incredibly cost efficient.
Very, very powerful, actually. I don't expect him to really be throwing that much CC on the Braum, however, but it will still be very useful for him. I expect to see Crispo probably pick up a stopwatch before the next major objective. It's typically something around this point of the game you do see. Lingui, though, he's getting absolutely slammed on, trying to buy himself some time. He flashes away, but all he does is flash away from Luca. Luca can't do anything but watch the Gnar go down. Really, really rough there.
Can we just talk about how good Johan is? The proactivity, he's rhyming a bow from the LEC. He's just everywhere making plays. The second his ult cooldown is up, he's ulting someone and it's a kill every single time. And they're snowballing. They're putting so many resources into Banderas. So they must have so much confidence to carry this game. But Lingui, honestly, every single time, it's him getting bullied, quite frankly. And I hope he turns it around, but it's not looking great.
It's not looking great because both the tier 1 towers fell there. And that now means that the side lanes are longer. They're going to be more easy for Riddle to kind of ward up and gain control of certain sides of the map off the back of that. The one kind of shining light there for Vanir is their mid lane tower didn't fall to the Rift Herald earlier. So they still have like a strong point in the middle of the map that they can kind of use as a kind of launch point onto the rest of the map. For the side of Vanir, though, they're going to have strong control of the bottom end of the map around these dragons because they've taken tier 1 mid, they've taken tier 1 bot. So they're going to be able to push in deep into that red side jungle of Riddles, get control of the area, and then play around that. Touch is actually looking for Kiba here. Is going to connect a couple of those concussive blows on. He's missed 2 glacial... I can't remember what they're called now. The Q. Missed 2 of the Qs.
It's not fissure.
It's not. That's the ulti. Maybe it's not that. Oh, no. Ingui. Winter's Bite.
Winter's Bite. There we go.
I think it's Winter's Bite.
Frankly, I had no idea.
I should know. I should know. It's been a while since the Aurora Cup. That was the last time I casted League. I'm shaking the rust off.
I have no idea. I am terrible with League names, but wow. Banderas with the Demolish and the Divine Sunder just one hits the entire tower. And honestly, I guarantee that some top laners watching this right now are getting PTSD because that happens all the time. And it is awful. That is a terrible feeling to just see a one-shot tower with Demolish right there. But again, really good gold injection.
Oh, Foxy. Almost blind check in there. This is going to be the scary thing, is if Vanir go and kind of accumulate all their power on one side of the map, Banderas will just go to the other side. He's got Ghost, he's got TP. Yeah. He can get anywhere he needs with relatively short notice. And like you saw, all it takes is one wave for him to take a tower down. And he's getting stronger and stronger as well. He's building towards his third item. He's got the Hydra. He's got the Divine Thunderer. Like, these towers will absolutely disappear when he gets near them. So it's going to be very, very scary.
Just looking at compositions, I'm a little bit worried for the side of Vanir in terms of damage. Yes, they have a lot of damage dealers in top jungle and AD carry. But their mid is a complete support. He's got Radiant Virtue, full tank item. And while that's great, I guess it does have the benefit of you can't R the Karma because she will just live. But they do lack a bit of magic damage, right? So maybe in these team fights, they are really putting all their hopes and dreams into Chrisberg. We did highlight how good we think Chrisberg is, so maybe you can carry that. But that is a potential flaw. If Chrisberg gets picked, the fight is probably over.
Yes, I mean, that is the key problem. When you do invest all into one hyper carry, you have 2 supports to kind of back them up. You have to make sure they stay alive. And it's going to be hard to do so when you've got the Naut, you've got the Vi. Obviously, he does have Flash and Heal right now, so his life's a little bit easier. And I think Ploxy maybe gave himself away a little bit too early there. They did look for something. Hook lands onto Ploxy's clone, not the real monkey. They're actually going to force the teleport down because this is Drake number 3 for Vanir. It's only Drake number 2 for Riddle. So Riddle, they can take their time with this. This isn't going to be a game-breaking Drake for them. But if they lose it, every Drake after this is potentially super, super impactful. And it's that Chemtech, that new dragon that was added during the off-season. And what's going to be rough here for Vanir is they've now used up their Mega Gnar. So they're going to have to give this dragon up.
Yeah, it just looks like they're conceding it. I was going to highlight how Lingui almost had the flank again, but the second you realize you have Mega Gnar, it's not going to be there for the fight. Is that a Baron Rush? No, it doesn't look like it. It's more like a Baron bait.
But they decided they're baiting it. Oh, that W from Reptile was so big. Chrisberg has to flash out. All of the CC's on as he's trying to lock everyone down, but he's got no flash. Johan is going low, but he's able to survive. Chrisberg is still somehow in the mix of all of this. He's still unkilled, finally falling down as Reptile will now finish up Luca. It's a double kill, picked up the Fire Rain, and Vanir are crumbled by 1 W from Reptile.
And what was that? Johan lived at the end. I thought this fight was going to go for the side of Vanir because Johan engages with nobody nearby. Typically, you want to engage with Vi when team can follow up with point and click, like with the Syndra R, but he wasn't close. So I thought Johan was going to die, but he lives on 1 HP because of the Radiant Virtue healing. If we get a replay of that, you'll see, look at that HP, just ticking up really close on the side, on the top side. But in the end, he doesn't die, and the fight goes to the side of Riddle. Really insane stuff, probably going to lead to a Baron.
Really, really nice there. We'll see if they do actually decide to go towards that Baron. For now, actually not going to do so. Instead, they kind of took that tower in the mid lane, went to spend that gold. You can see the individual gold leads on your screen right now. There's still a gold lead on Chrisberg over Reptile. Most of that's just been off that CS lead that he's been able to build up for himself. But there's a 3k gold lead between Banderas and Lingui. So
Yeah.
that's a little scary. It's actually more
terrifying.
2.5 if we're gonna not round up. Really, really big stuff coming in already from Vanderis on this Fiora, and he's moving up towards the top lane. Hydra building towards that cleaver now as well, so he will make short work of waves, short work of towers, and you can see how scared Vanir are about that. They rotate 3 members over to that point of the map to make sure if Vanderis overstays, he dies.
A little bit terrifying. He is bot side now because of potentially bringing down people to create the ability to start Baron, because the Vanir have 4 people down bot side. But potentially what they could have done is send Banderas top side to take that inner tier 2 turret, right? Where it's another 750 gold, really disgusting stuff. Doesn't look like they're going to do that. They're going to keep trying to play for Baron, bringing people down with Banderas' split push win condition. I believe he's going to build into the Hullbreaker here or Asterix. It really depends what he's feeling. Does he want to build in for team fights with Asterix, or does he just commit to the split push the entire time? If I was him, with that kind of a lead, I would just go Hullbreaker and split push the enemy to death, but we'll have to see what he goes for. Doesn't look like he wants to extend. Does look like he's just going to go for camps and vision.
Well, for now, everyone's taking a little bit of a back seat, although Johan was thinking about jumping in onto touch, at least threatening it, but you're able to clear out that vision in that bush and get a little bit of control, as Ploxy is going to get himself spotted out by Johan, walking in with a sweeper. And the fight for vision control around this Baron area is going to be so, so important. You see a lot of these teams now focusing heavily on that, and Chris Berg just helping Ploxy sort out that camp for himself.
Whew.
Now 3 items on the Varus. He's got the Wit's End, he's got the Gwynsies, he's got the Immortal Shield Bow. He's going to be hard to kill. He's got a lot of resistances, he's got a lot of like tankiness just innately built in from the back of that Shield Bow. Obviously got the steel plated cap. I can't remember.
Teal.
Well, the
Just call
ninja
them Ninja Tabis, man.
Yeah,
Ninja Tabi.
I still call them ninjas.
Yeah, don't worry, everyone does.
He's going to do a lot of damage, and he's also going to be relatively hard to kill when he's got, you know, like you're saying, Luca with the support item just able to do so much healing and shielding, and also with the fact that he's got the Chemtech Purifier as well, or Putrifier, I believe.
Putrifier.
Is it Putrifier or is it Purifier? I can't remember now.
It's Putrifier, for sure.
It is Putrifier. Yeah. So obviously, when he's giving these shields and these heals off, he's also giving Chrisberg grievous wounds as well. He's getting himself to the point where you've got a Locket, you've got all of this support around him. It's all on Chrisberg, and they threw everything at Chrisberg last fight, and it still took them ages to kill him. The longer that goes, the harder it is going to be to kill him.
I mean, Baron started up here. Whilst Banderas is split pushing, this might just be gone. They're rushing it down. They have so much DPS, but it does look like it's been scouted out with that plant. Floxy's almost in. He's been ulted by Nautilus. He might not make it in.
It's going to be so hot. Scatter! That scatter hit! It was so big! Touch is now going to look to try and jump out. Is able to do so. Gets to slow down Johan. Looking for a chase, but Banderas, he's cracked open the top lane tower and got... Sorry, the bot lane tower and got a kill onto Lingui. Riddle just has so much control of the map.
That split push win condition from Banderas, they get Baron on the other side. They don't even drag anyone over because Lingui just dies in the 1v1. I'm not sure what happened there. It might have even been a tower dive, but like I said, that Hullbreaker, you are essentially invincible for Banderas right now, and he's actually 1v9ing right now. When you see a team get Baron on one side and an inhib on the other, you've got to think, what can we do, guys? Because there really isn't much. But
I went Hullbreaker. I totally forgot about that item. Because I saw the I can't remember what it is, but it used to be like the Phage style item.
Phage into Black Cleaver is what you were thinking of, right? Or
yeah.
Mallet.
It's
that
not
was
Phage
it.
anymore.
Frozen Mallet. Oh man, you're making me nostalgic.
No, it's not called Phage anymore. Like, you know, like the wooden mallet item. I can't remember what it's called. Wait, is that still Phage?
Brutalizer.
No, Brutalizer's gone now.
God, we're so
Is
old.
that item still called Phage?
Phage. It's called Phage.
Is it still called Phage? Okay.
Yeah, it's Phage.
Okay, thank God. I honestly, I feel like I've just forgotten everything in this off season. I was like so confused on the name of that item, but yeah, I assumed it was Cleaver. I assumed wrong. Hullbreaker makes way more sense considering the way Banderas has been playing. As Chrisberg now building towards his 4th item, but that Blade of the Ruined King is going to be powerful for him and will give him some survivability. As Banderas just putting the thumbs up. Not going to be under too much threat here. Top lane tower goes down to Fire Rain and Reptile. And Vanir being pulled around the map, really struggling to kind of find an opening and a way into this game.
Look
a
at
way
those
back
super
into this game.
those super minions bot side are coming. They have like a
Two
limited
waves,
window
yeah.
where Vanir have to engage. And look, you can see them desperately try to engage with Shirelias and all these moves, all this move speed. But they're just going to play it patiently. Riddle are playing this extremely well. They just wait. They have time on their side. But a flank, look at that flank from TP. Lingui with Meganar.
Oh, he gets hit by everything, though. That's him caught. He needs to get this ult off before he's pinned, and he has to jump away. Johan jumps in as well. Chrisberg still remains on the back end of the fight, though. Completely untouched. The CC is working through touch. So good. Scout of the week, though, onto Chrisberg as he flashes out. Johan not able to finish him up. Chrisberg still full HP. Hook lands on the backside. Chrisberg on the run as Banderas is going to run him down. Gets the stopwatch off to keep himself alive as Fire Rain able to finish up Chrisberg. Riddle just pushing the advantage with the gold here. They've got the super waves. They've got the Barons still on them for just a little bit longer, and that is all they're going to need to close this game out, as the Nexus will be laid bare, and the first game of the season goes to Riddle.
And just when you think the fight is going the way